Good morning and welcome once again to our Bible study. Today is day 45 of our 365-day trek through the Bible. We are continuing to look at the way that nature is expressed in the Bible. And today we come to a very puzzling episode in the life of Jesus. This is the lesson from the fig tree, and it is Mark chapter 11, verses 20 to 24, and after I've read it, I will tell you what I think of it. Here comes the reading. And early the next day, as they passed the fig tree, they saw it had withered away to its roots. And Peter remembered and said to Jesus, "Rabbi, look, the fig tree you cursed has withered." And Jesus answered them, "Trust God. I assure you that whoever says to this mountain, 'Up and into the sea with you,' and do not secretly doubt it, but believe what they say will happen, it will come true for them. So I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe you have received it, and you will." Mark sets the scene for this rather puzzling exchange. It is the Tuesday of Holy Week. Jesus has entered Jerusalem, acclaimed by a crowd, but tension is rising between Jesus and the conservative elite, who see him and his followers as a threat. Jesus, just the day before, had been looking for some out-of-season figs on a fig tree he was passing. When he didn't find any, the disciples heard him say, "Nobody's ever going to eat your fruit again." Here we read of the disciples' surprise at seeing the same tree 24 hours later withered to its roots. Now, what is going on here? Is Jesus really so cross with a fig tree refusing to give fruit out of season that he has to blast it in this way? This is so out of character that many commentators dismiss it as a fabrication, or say it looks like what was once a parable back in the days before the gospel became frozen in writing, that has been misinterpreted by Mark, misunderstanding his source, Peter, and written up like this as a miracle in his gospel. A version of this parable may be found in Luke chapter 13, verses 6 to 9, which we will come to in due course. Now, this little slip gives us a brief view into what it must have been like before there were any written gospels. The best sources were the eyewitnesses. Stories told by them were valuable, but the deepest thinking had been done by St. Paul, who was not amongst the disciples. He gives us only tiny glimpses into Christ's life. The need for written gospels came with the persecutions in Rome, and Mark was the first to attempt writing one because public preaching was now not an option. It is amazing he made so few faux pas. Here, maybe around AD 70, the Jerusalem temple had been destroyed and the Jewish war was winding on towards its disastrous conclusion, and just maybe the shriveled fig tree was meant as a symbol of that destruction. We need to remind ourselves that the Gospels were written by people like us, by humans who are capable of making mistakes and getting hold of the wrong end of the stick. It does us no good to approach Scripture as if it had never passed through the minds of fallible humans before it ended up on a page in black and white. It is much more interesting and valuable when seen in its true light. Tomorrow, on day 46, we will be looking at another agricultural image. This is the vineyard parable, and it is about the lost Israel. And I'll see you tomorrow and we'll go through that.